Good morning and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's John, aka Virgil, aka Lego Head, aka the Hamster, as some of you decided to call me because I like cashew nuts. Anyway, moving on. This is, as I say, Claret and Blue, even. Please hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, then please do so. It's completely free. And if you hit the bell notification, you'll be advised as and when we put shows out there, whether they be live or pre-recorded. So today, I've got not a great deal to talk about, more my opinion on things, really, more than anything. But I'd like to start with a bit of a serious subject. So over the weekend, our ex-goalkeeper and player, Shaka Hislop, 54, fainted and fell to the floor live on television whilst introducing and hosting a game for ESPN that was involved Real Madrid and AC Milan, I believe. He fell to the floor and obviously medics rushed around to help Shaka Hislop. I just wanted to relay the good news in that Shaka is well and conscious and alive, the case may be. It hasn't been advised what the issue was or is, but the good news is that Shaka is awake and is conscious. So I'd just like to, wish him well, and I'm sure the rest of you out there watching would also do the same. So good luck, Shaka. Get well soon, mate. Moving on, as we know, the new Premier League season 23-24 starts in just a few weeks' time, and West Ham are the only Premier League club at the moment to have not made a signing. However, today there has been some more positive news in regards to a player who I believe would be fantastic acquisition for the club and would slot into midfield and be an absolute upgrade on what we currently have there. That is Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher is 24 years of age, and as you know, he's been at Chelsea since the age of 6. And it would seem that Chelsea have said that he is surplus to requirements, although he has been used quite a lot in the pre-season. Today's information is that Conor Gallagher is set to leave the club with West Ham United and Tottenham Hotspur as front runners. Conor Gallagher, to me, would be the type of player that we would need massively to replace the hole left by Declan Rice. Not a direct replacement, but most definitely an upgrade on Thomas Soucek, for example. Conor Gallagher has been on loan twice away from Chelsea with Crystal Palace and West Bromwich Albion, respectively. And on both occasions, he's given a lot to those clubs, so much so that Chelsea have decided, based on those loan spells, to keep him at the club. It would seem now, though, that Chelsea are looking to go in a different direction, and the fact that he's been at the club since the age of 6 is no longer relevant. They have decided to possibly cash in on Conor Gallagher. Now, for me, as I said, he would be fantastic for West Ham. The energy, the desire, and the goals that the guy chips in with, and the way that he closes players down would most definitely suit our style of play, would most definitely suit our counter-attack that we like to play, and he would be an upgrade on what we have currently with Thomas Soucek. Look, I love Thomas Soucek, but we know his limitations. So for me, somebody like Conor Gallagher would be a must. We must go all out to try and get him. What could you pick him up for? Possibly 35, 40 million pounds, which I think personally is a bargain, considering that Southampton are looking to get between 40 and 50 million for 29-year-old James Ward-Prowse. For me, you've got to ignore that player now and go for someone like Conor Gallagher. In terms of players in midfield that we're looking to bring in, we have been, it has been discussed. It has been advised and advertised today that West Ham are apparently in advanced talks with Edson Alvarez, with agents actually getting involved now. So that could be something that could be more of a serious acquisition going forward. And again, Alvarez, I know a lot of people have discussed the fact that he looks a bit cumbersome at times and things like that. And we do know that he started as a centre-back, but that would mean he has fantastic defensive capabilities. So for me, Conor Gallagher and Edson Alvarez would be two fantastic players that we could get probably for around a combined fee of around 70 to 75 million, which to me is great business. When you look at the fact that Southampton want 40 to 50 million for James Ward-Prowse, and Fulham supposedly have knocked back a 50 million pound offer from us, you know, for me, it's a no-brainer with players like Alvarez and Conor Gallagher. And I do hope that the club will look at those two rather than looking at Polinia and James Ward-Prowse. Now, we know that Polinia picked up an arm injury in a pre-season friendly for Fulham yesterday at some point. So maybe now, because of his injury, it may be something that makes us look elsewhere. And for me, £50 million is too much for Polinia at 28, 29 years of age. £40 million would have been the max. It's got to be someone like Alvarez and Conor Gallagher. The valuations are much more, in our marketplace, shall we say. And I think that they will add far more quality and longevity, which is what we're looking for. The only danger now is that obviously David Moyes is in the last year of his contract at West Ham. Whether he gets a new deal or not, I don't know. So how easy would it be for David Moyes to influence those players to come in and play for him? It would possibly be something now that somebody like Tim Steidten would have to get involved in and sell the club to players like Conor Gallagher and Alvarez, or any player, in fact, to try and sell a long-term project to them. Obviously, Conor Gallagher, if the rumours are to be believed that Chelsea no longer want him, he could look at the fact that Ange Postecoglou has just come in and is looking at something for the future, has a vision, has a project, even though I hate that terminology there. But it could be more of a selling point, which is why Tim Steidten needs to be selling the club long-term to any potential players that we're after. Tim Steidten's role is up for debate at the minute. I truly believe that Steidten has been placed there by a potential new buyer from the club. Otherwise, it would seem particularly odd that David Sullivan would bring this young, progressive director of football into the club, pay him a salary, but not let him have complete control over the transfers. To me, it would make more sense. And a lot of people are going to say that that is some sort of, way out there thought process. But why would you bring Steidten in to do a job, pay him a salary that you don't allow him to do? It makes no sense at all. And I truly believe, maybe in hope more than anything else, that Steidten's been placed there by a potential new owners. Now, if you watch last night's phone-in show, one of our callers came in and phoned in, and suggested that the fact that Tim Steidten had been looked at by Manchester United and surprisingly turned them down for us, Nolly, who was our caller, suggested that maybe Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who was or is looking to buy Manchester United, has placed Tim Steidten in at West Ham to look at all things West Ham, and maybe because of the fact that the Glazers, after 8 months of putting the club up for sale, haven't moved any further forward, maybe Jim Ratcliffe would look at buying West Ham United. Now, as far-fetched as you may think that seems, how far-fetched would you have looked at the fact that we've got 4 people supposedly trying to agree on transfer targets before it came out into the mainstream? That would have been laughed at and scoffed at. And the Jim Ratcliffe thing, as ridiculous as it sounds, it may well be a possibility. And let's face it, anything goes at West Ham at the minute, because even the most ridiculous of scenarios seems to be coming true. So for me, forget James Ward-Prowse, forget Polinia, go in there in our midfield, go in definitely for Alvarez of Ajax and Conor Gallagher of Chelsea. Let's go and get those done. Now, also another player that we've been linked with today in the Gazzetta dello Sport is AC Milan's Divock Origi. Now, I know we've been linked with him time and time again, and people will have their opinions on this player. Look, do I think he's the answer to our prayers? No, I don't. Do I think he's going to come in and score 15 to 20 goals a season? No, I don't. The only positive thing on this possible transfer link is the price. Now, apparently, we could pick him up for around 8 million euros, which is about 6.8 million pounds, which is peanuts, isn't it? The only problem is he's not going to score loads of goals based on his recent stats. I think last season he scored 2 goals for AC Milan, and he doesn't really score lots of goals wherever he's been. You know, when he was at Liverpool, he did come off the bench and score important goals. But let me know what you think. Would you take Divock Origi for, let's be honest, a ridiculously low price of around 6.8 to 7 million pounds? Is it a no-brainer? Is it a risk worth taking? I'm not so sure. I don't know, considering the fact that we have Mbamba there, you know, hanging around the first team squad now. You know, is it worth even spending that money on him, Origi, rather than just give Mbamba, sorry, I always get these names wrong. Oh my God, this is getting worse. This is going to be a meme. Who would give Mbamba an opportunity? Why can't people just be called Smith anymore? It's a lot simpler. Billy McKinley, West Ham coach, actually come out and said that he has given West Ham food for thought. Mbamba, they've been very impressed with his recent performances on the tour over in Australia, and I was impressed when I saw him against Dagenham and Redbridge at the weekend, and he has scored in every pre-season game this pre-season. So maybe at the end of the day, as and when Antonio leaves, which I think Antonio needs to do now, you know, Mbamba could be someone who gets a massive opportunity on the back of Antonio being sold off to Saudi Arabia. So I've spoken about Alvarez, I've spoken about Conor Gallagher, Divock Origi, and that's me done. There's not much more to talk about. We really need to get a move on now. Transfers need to start coming in. We need to get the ball rolling. I mean, this delay is once again not only embarrassing, but it's ridiculous. Let's hope we can get some bodies over the line this week. Let's hope that Steiden, Moyes, Sullivan, and supposedly Noble, the 4-man transfer team, can decide on players. We're desperate for players now. We need to get some in. Let me know comments on what you think about the players I've mentioned. Let me know, you know, what you think in regards to Conor Gallagher. I think he's a fantastic player, fantastic acquisition. And once more, before the video leaves, before the video ends, I'd just like to offer best wishes to Shaka Hislop. Yeah, get better, big man. Anyway, come on, you irons. Let's get some bodies over the line. Take care, people. Good luck.